Kia ora everyone, I'm Shannon and today I'll be reading an excerpt from the Wingspan Journal, Volume 18, written by one of our trustees, Dr. Richard Seaton. It's entitled Laughing Owl, 100 Years Extinct, a maniacal shrieking call to action from our not-so-distant past. – 2014 marked a sad anniversary in the history of New Zealand. 100 years since anyone saw the laughing owl, or wheko, alive, a bird that was once common throughout these islands. The story of the laughing owl and its demise is one that is all too familiar. It's a story that illustrates just how fragile the natural world can be, and how even common species can become extinct without appropriate action. Most importantly, it is a stark reminder of how, if we are to avoid similar stories being told about the birds that remain today, we must support the creation of a New Zealand that provides for them into the future. Named after its laughing maniacal call, which was described as a dreadful, doleful shrieking, or the ravings of a madman, the laughing owl must have presented a haunting experience to those who ventured into the bush at night. Indeed, it is obvious why Māori legend and superstition abound around the wheko. Only found in New Zealand, it was a strikingly beautiful bird, with a brown and cream striated, striped or grooved chest, and large white facial discs surrounding its eyes. Being about twice the size of its more common cousin the moorpork, it was able to take advantage of the large prey that once abounded in New Zealand, prey such as kiwi, kakapo, and even tuatara. Records of prey found in their middens, nests and roosts show that although they were able to adapt to feeding on the kiore rat that Māori brought with them, they were woefully ill-equipped for the onslaught of cats, ferrets and stoats that Europeans introduced on their arrival. These introduced predators not only fed on the eggs, chicks and adults, but dealt a double blow by decimating populations of their prey. Coupled with the large-scale clearance of bush, it took just 80 years from the time that the laughing owl was described by Western science to the point at which it was last seen alive. So it was that in the process of creating New Zealand's apparently clean, green agricultural utopia, it took just one human lifetime for this unique bird to become extinct. So as we mourn the loss of this haunting, beautiful bird more than 100 years later, what can we learn? Most importantly, even common species can go extinct, and they can do so very quickly. In terms of our birds of prey, it is not just rare species like the New Zealand falcon that we need to take action to support. We also need to support conditions suitable to maintain relatively common species like the swamp harrier and moorpork. News of the decline of common species continues throughout the world today. For example, the recent 99% drop in vulture numbers in India, and the continuing dramatic fall in the numbers of songbirds in Europe, reminding us that the story of the laughing owl continues to be repeated. Species becoming extinct due to poor environmental management is not a thing of the past, and it continues around the world today, including in New Zealand. The big question is, what can we do to ensure the story of the laughing owl is not repeated for the birds of prey that remain in New Zealand? Wingspan's vision is to bring birds of prey back into our daily lives and to support, maintain and recover populations to where they once thrived. Advocating for the creation and maintenance of a healthy New Zealand environment is a key component, and this is where you come in. Wingspan is an apolitical organisation and does not support any particular political party, yet the influence of politics on how our environment is managed cannot be understated. Local, regional and national government level politics are where all the big decisions on how our environment is managed are made, yet voting turnout continues to be poor, especially in local and regional elections, which arguably have the greatest influence on our day-to-day environment. As Wingspan members, we urge you to take part, to encourage others to vote, and to support those politicians who promote sensible environmental management practices and policies that maintain the value of our natural world. Finally, we ask you to encourage those around you to visit Wingspan, to come and learn about our unique birds of prey and support us in our efforts to ensure the maniacal shrieking call to action of the laughing owl continues to be heard loud and clear in the future.